But I thought Charlamagne was old school Charlamagne.
Yes.
Yeah, he was fighting back. He was fighting back.
I thought he did more than that.
I love what Charlamagne. You're lying. He was just like,
I thought he called that nigga Debt Dash. He called him Debt Dash and said he should work for Debt Jam. That's funny.
that's really funny.
This interview,
I think they handled it way more appropriately. Like, because Dame came up there to basically insult them.
Yeah,
but
they're professionals. You can't.
And they were laughing at him, and I think it had a counter effect of what he thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think his whole purpose up there was to go up there and belittle them because he looks at them like they're not street niggas. And so he brings that element to it, like, yo, I would punch you in your face and all that other stuff.
Oh, I have that clip.
And I just think that's...
Yeah, he told me never sold drugs. Yeah. That's what all them niggas do, though.
I feel Larry. I love
They ain't just
you guys look at my Instagram. I've been editing for 6 months. Stupid. I don't believe it. Because you're dumb. How would you know? You're in this coffin every day. Count Dumbula.
I want to wear your suit in my coffin.
But I'm talking to you about.
They got to this fast in the interview.
How should I know? I knew.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten Kings TV. That's right, Forgotten Kings TV. Come on, son.
What's going on, world? It's Xiaomi Sensei ripping. I'm back again with another video. Listen, y'all, it seemed like Dame wants smoke with everybody. Okay, anybody that's been speaking about him and his brand, listen, he's ready for a face-to-face. Okay, now moments ago, Dame, he responded to Joe Budden and the crew over there at the Joe Budden podcast. Of course, earlier today, they released their reaction to Dame Dash's back and forth with Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club interview from earlier this week. Again, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty much damn near 2 million views. You get what I mean? So Dame is the topic of the conversation this week. And moments ago, he responded to Joe Budden and their reaction to his Breakfast Club interview. Let's listen to what Joe and them had to say, and we'll get into what Dame's response was on IG moments ago. All right, let's get right to it.
But I thought Charlamagne was old school Charlamagne.
Yes.
Yeah, he was fighting back. He was fighting back.
I thought he did more than that.
I love what Charlamagne. You're lying. He was just like,
he called that nigga Debt Dash. He called him Debt Dash and said he should work for Debt Jam. That's funny.
that's really funny.
This interview,
I think they handled it way more appropriately. Like, because Dame came up there to basically insult them.
Yeah, but they're professionals. You can't.
And they were laughing at him, and I think it had a counter effect of what he thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think his whole purpose up there was to go up there and belittle them because he looks at them like they're not street niggas. And so he brings that element to it, like, yo, I would punch you in your face and all that other stuff.
Oh, I have that clip.
And I just think that's...
Yeah, he told me never sold drugs. Yeah. That's what all them niggas do, though.
I feel Larry. I love
They ain't just
you guys look at my Instagram. I've been editing for 6 months. Stupid.
I don't believe it.
Because you're dumb. How would you know? You're in this coffin every day. Count Dumbula.
I want to wear your suit in my coffin.
But I'm talking to you about.
They got to this fast in the interview.
How should I know? I knew.
All right, now, of course, this clip was released earlier today. Now, moments ago, Dame Dash, he responded to Joe Budden and the crew. Give me a second. Dame says, shaking my head. You guys really think journalism is to discredit your guests, call them a liar, and devalue their business in front of millions of people? That's what you think journalism is. And do you think that's legal? Hashtag, you took the bait. Anytime you like to have a conversation face-to-face, I'm down. All right, now, of course, like I said, Dame all this week, he's been going at it with anybody who has something to say about him and his platform. And now he's, making his run. Just recently, he just put out a record with his new artist, Nicky Licky, called Checkmate. A lot of people looking at it as a 50 Cent record, right, or a 50 Cent diss record, excuse me, right? But now, he wants to go on the Joe Budden podcast and pretty much, have a face-to-face with Joe and the crew, right? let's pretty much have a viral moment, because clearly after seeing what just happened with the Breakfast Club interview, like I said, from what I believe, I know at this point, let me check it out to confirm it to be sure, just to set the record straight. Hold up. But I'm sure it's almost at 2 million. Last time I checked, it was at 1.7. Let's see here. Excuse me, my bad. 2.5 million. Okay, so listen, I'm pretty sure, once Joe Budden makes the call and Dame gets the invite, listen, you mean to tell me this is not going to be another 1 million view plus, interview? Are you kidding me? Right? Especially with Charlamagne. It's obvious, for some reason, a lot of people feel like Dame is getting a bad rap right now. You get what I mean? A lot of people are just bringing him on to, kick him while he's down, so to speak. But no, I think Dame is utilizing this media space like everybody else, man. Come on. He came out there suited and booted with the fresh, the fresh suit. He was out there, having interviews with TMZ. You just seeing Dame everywhere right now. So, of course, come on. You think there's not a method to the madness, right? But him going on the platform, just like we seen on The Breakfast Club, I'm sure Joe and the crew, they're going to be on their A game. You know what I mean? And to actually respond to what Dame is saying about this is the new form of journalism. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but come on. Let me show y'all something. Now, the thing is, with this whole situation with Dame Dash and Revolt, he had a whole rollout, okay? Now, when he went on The Breakfast Club, he made an announcement saying that, he was going to be the chairman for the month, right, when it comes to Revolt, on path, to acquire Revolt. That was Dame's claims, okay? And, there were articles that were pretty much, printed up, especially with Vibe, right, specifically them. And the actual CEO of Revolt says none of this is true. Yet people ran with it. So I don't know. I'm looking at the situation like maybe Dame is just trying to prove to people that, when it comes to journalism these days, people don't really do their homework because, come on, I didn't want to believe Dame went up on The Breakfast Club and lied about this whole situation. That's crazy. But if the CEO is putting out an official statement that says, I quote, because a lot of people were saying, where did you get that from? Okay. Let me get his name right quick. Detavio Samuels, okay, CEO, says Dame Dash has not been appointed chairman of Revolt either temporarily or permanently. At no point has Mr. Dash held this title or position within the company, okay? In addition, Revolt contends that a quote attributed to company CEO Detavio Samuels celebrated a proposed partnership between Dash and Revolt was fake and not provided by Samuels, okay? The quote attributed to Detavio Samuels in a release, in any release Vibe received was fabricated and did not come from him, okay? Piper wrote on behalf of the executive who Dash claims he had a mutual agreement with regarding an alleged Revolt partnership, okay? A partnership with Revolt, okay? So this is a picture of Detavio Samuels, but he's saying, listen, however, Piper says that Samuels and Dash have a handshake agreement, regarding Revolt's potential distribution of Dash content. Okay, series bosses take losses and the corresponding economics surrounding it. All right, finalizing that deal was always contingent on legal documentations. Okay, Piper wrote, deeming Dash reveals of the news as premature. All right, no such documentation exists, and Mr. Dash was not authorized to announce it. All right, so he's basically saying, they had a handshake agreement, but nothing was concrete. Okay, nothing finalized in contract. Meaning, you had to do it the right way. And since they didn't do it the right way, he's not authorized to release the content. All right. Now it says the lawyer also clarified that the trailer for Dame's docuseries My Paid in Full contains the Revolt logo and branding, despite not having authorization to do so. Okay, so listen, that means Dame said, you know what? Homie gave me the okay, gave me the green light. And in all fairness, okay, he says it right here. He gave him a handshake agreement, right? But in regards to distribution of Dash's content, all right? So the series, Bosses Take Losses, right? And the corresponding economics surrounding it. So he was willing to, work with Dame as far as using some of his content, exclusive content to put out on the Revolt Network, but making him the chairman, right, on path to, acquire Revolt, that's a whole different story. And according to the official CEO of Revolt, saying all of that is fabricated. So y'all tell me, man, what was all of this? You get what I mean? Because on one aspect, I can understand how people believe that the media right now is kicking Dame while he's down, because you see the negative headlines. However, you also see the man that we see in these interviews. You get what I mean? It wasn't like a one-sided interview where Dame is being attacked. No, he talking this shit too, right? He going back and forth with Charlamagne. And let's be real, when it comes to the Breakfast Club, it's not like how it was in the prime when, they was putting out, that fire during that era. It's a new day. But you can tell Charlamagne was ready. He understood the assignment, and so did Dame Dash. He understood it. You know what? If we're going to go ahead, the Breakfast Club, yeah, we going to make a moment. And he was ready. He was going at everybody. You get what I mean? To the point where, like I said, everything looked like a press run. Then all of a sudden, you get the CEO of Revolt putting out a statement saying, yeah, none of that's true. All of that is fabricated. I'm like, hold up, yo. Are you telling me Dame went up there and lied to the people? Come on. But like homie said, he gave him a handshake agreement in regards to the content of his series, Bosses Take Losses, but he didn't have permission to, use to use the Revolt logo. You know what I mean? He's saying Dame, he did that on his own. So give me 1 second here. Try and tell y'all, man, Dame is having a hell of a week, and salute the homie. Because like I said, when the headlines was negative, everybody was jumping out there, especially 50. But now, he's back active. And like I said, all of this is calculated. Let me mute this right quick. See, all of this right here. They saying homie didn't have authorization to use the Revolt logo, okay? That's what homie's saying. Look, I agree, we'll talk business, but we got to do it the right way. You know what I mean? You got the verbal agreement, but we got to make it official in paperwork. Dame say, nah, homie. That's all I need is you said we good, right? All right, bet. Checkmate. Because when you look at it, this shit look official. You get what I'm saying? It looks official. Now that you throw that Revolt logo on there, it make it look like, oh, this shit is already official. You get what I mean? They locked in with it. And then Dame, he's making the post, letting it be known, hey, yo, Cam, don't worry. I ain't going, you know what I mean? I ain't going to kick you out the building. Calm down. Relax. This is wild, man. But again, think, my paid in full trailer, and you got to think this is after 50 made his announcement about his show, and 50, he actually responded back at Dame Dash. Let's see what he had to say earlier today. I assume he's off, you know what I mean, on set filming Street Fight or another project he's doing. Because 50, when he got time, he on the internet all day. He responding every 5 minutes, but clearly, he working. He got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But check this out right quick. This is what 50 said earlier today. See? Right? You got a link that says paid in full TV series in the works from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson Miramax. Okay? And then 50 says, oh, well, I guess I'm not capping no more. If you want to get in, get at Cam. I'm on set filming in Chi-Town. You get what I'm saying? So again, 50's already, making announcements, because that's what Dame said in the Breakfast Club interview. Homie's always making announcements, but we don't see nothing. Okay? But like I said, Dame out here, He's out here playing chess. You know what I mean? He's trying to make the best moves possible, but right now the optics is looking crazy. Because when the CEO come out and say all that shit is a lie, now make it look like you out here lying to the people. Okay. Now I want y'all to, me and Rec, we reacted to this last night, but they calling this a 50 Cent diss, man. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Song titled Checkmate. Okay. Hold up. Let's get him back on the screen. Hold up. There you go, right there. You know what I'm saying? Now they saying this is a 50 Cent diss, you know what I mean? But again, attaching Revolt's name to it. And according to the CEO, he like, yo, I didn't give you the green light to do all of that. You know what I mean? I told you, listen, let's lock it in through documentation, the legal way. You know what I mean? I gave you the handshake, but we still got to do it the right way. And Dame out here like, don't worry, man. Just fall back. I got this. But yeah, man. Like I said, Dame Dash is going viral like crazy this week. And just moments ago, he actually went at it with Envy. Because remember in the interview, he said, let's show your view from the office. This is moments ago from Dame's page. But he tagged Envy and said, this is my view from the family office. DJ Envy, post your view. I dare you. Now look at this. Look at Cam right here. All that shit in your girl name. Show some paperwork. Look. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, man, Dame know what he doing. Okay? He's using the internet like everybody else. You get what I'm saying? He wants to promote his product. And rightfully so. He going about it the way he going about it. He playing the game. And look, here we go. It says it right here. Hey, Fredo, that little kitchen better not be in your house. Show me the view at your house. I dare you. I bet you it's a wall. The Show Me Your View challenge. And by the way, Tom Brady and Puff's house was in their mother's name. I don't see the problem, but I do suggest you go protect your assets. Don't say I didn't warn you. And you're going to be talking my girl's business like, what's up with you, bro? That's what we doing? That's some Harlem shit? Bet. Now look, Cam in the comments, right back at him. Tell your unwanted son, Lucky, how you took 3 DNA tests hoping he wasn't yours. And when he first came around you, you said he had to clean your dog shit up because he had to pay dues. I mean, god damn, what is this shit crazy, y'all? So you got Cam, going back and forth with Dame. And again, I'm going to be real. I felt like everyone is in on this shit, man. The money's here in the content creating space. And, at the end of the day, you're seeing a lot of artists jump into the podcasting lane, right? You just seen Cam actually, have a situation going on with Revolt. That's locked in. You get what I mean? So, when he's out here and you see him having viral moments with Adrian Broner and things of that nature, just understand it's a method to the madness. You get what I mean? So it's the same thing when it comes to this back and forth. Dame was going at it with 50 because he understood, right? 50 giving him the oop by even mentioning him because that's the type of power that 50 has, literally. You know what I mean? Just highlighting your projects and mentioning you, saying, yo, who is this? All he gotta do is put the spotlight on your product and everyone's paying attention. And Dame understood that. Yo, let's have a challenge. Your network versus mine. Mine is the American New Network. Yours is the 50 Cent Action Channel. But like Dame said, we hear about projects, but we don't see him. He's always making announcements. You get what I mean? Now, Dame, with this announcement, it's like, yo, I got the machine behind me. I got projects on the way. But you undermine all of that by coming out and saying, yo, none of that shit he said was true. Now, Cam going back and forth, I'm like, yo, is Dame going to eventually end up on Talk with Flea? It only makes sense. Obviously, that's what all this back and forth is about. Now you got Dame asking Joe, what's up? You know what I mean? Let's meet face to face. This is why I said, yo, this shit feel like one big podcast Royal Rumble, man. And everybody's utilizing the space, you know what I mean, to, essentially promote product, whatever. It's all calculated. Behind the scenes, they laughing, getting money, because you know it ain't real beef. But, you know, now everyone's playing the petty game. And for a moment, Dame looked like he was, you know what I mean? He was up. But again, when the CEO of Revolt come out and say, yeah, all that shit fabricated. He ain't the chairman of Revolt. We never talked about that. Actually, we talked about the show releasing content. I never said he was, you know what I mean, gonna be running the company. Like, what? Y'all let me know, man. What's your thoughts on the controversy involving Dame Dash this week? Again, do you think this is the method to the madness? Because for a minute, Dame was out the way. It was quiet. Seeing the headlines, you know, reading these articles of him possibly losing all these businesses and things of that nature, and then boom, he back outside like checkmate. Okay. But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. And also, what are your thoughts on the checkmate record, man? People calling it a 50 Cent diss record. Do you think it's even worthy enough to even call it that? Because we got to be honest, man. Got to be honest, you know, be real. Is the record really like that or not? I'm going to leave that up to y'all. I'm going to actually leave the link. Y'all go check it out. Run the numbers up. Let them know Rip sent you. But yeah, man, y'all tell me your thoughts on all of this, because right now it seems like people they're split when it comes to Dame, right? You got one aspect of the people that believe that Dame is getting dealt, you know what I mean, a bad rap right now with the media. Meanwhile, you got others who feel like, you know, Dame is a victim of his own circumstance. You know what I mean? He creates these situations based on how he treats people. You know what I mean? And, you know, who knows? Both can be true at the same time. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? I see it sometimes even in the Breakfast Club interview. It wasn't one-sided. It wasn't like Charlamagne was a bully. Nah, Dame was on his shit. They was going back and forth. They both understood the assignment. So when you look at it from that perspective, I can see how, you know, one could see it as Dame could sometimes get in the way of his own success, right? By standing on business, as they would say, not shying away from the difficult conversations, right? But sometimes you intimidate people, and that's where it comes, you know, that's what it comes down to in a situation involving Dame. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, does the good outweigh the bad? He's done a lot for the culture and his contribution to the rap game. However, here we are now where this is a new day, okay? That music isn't selling anymore. So now you got to think outside the box, and this is why you're seeing this big-ass podcast Royal Rumble, man. That's just what I believe. But either way, people are entertained, right? Breakfast Club, 2.5 million views as of right now. So listen, man, bravo. Like homie said, checkmate. Mission accomplished. But y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on Dame Dash and all of this controversy down in the comment section below? But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time. Peace.